What's going on, everybody? Keen947 aka Wolfkeen here with another edition of A Wolf's Word. Now, today on A Wolf's Word, we're going to talk about a survival horror game which has been released just recently. I bought it on release day and I've been playing it for a while now. A game where we take on a special group of people that are a part of Umbrella. Shit. I'm still tired, but what can you do? Anyways, the game I'm talking about is Operation Raccoon City, which I have the sleeve over here so I could better, here it is. Operation Raccoon City, Resident Evil. So, what can I say about Operation Raccoon City? Well, honestly, well, here's the thing. I bought the special edition, as you can tell by the sleeve. Special edition, so I got some of the, DLCs, which is like the extra weapons, the extra costumes, but that doesn't matter until the review. So let's talk about the review. Okay. You play as a special group of Umbrella mercenaries, the USS, also known as the Umbrella Secret Service. Basically, this is one of those what-if scenarios. So what if Umbrella sent this crack team of mercenaries to hide the truth of what really happened in Raccoon City? Like, what if their job was to eliminate all survivors and prevent Umbrella from being linked with Raccoon City? Because we all know that after Umbrella was linked with Raccoon City, Umbrella fell, and that's when Umbrella collapsed. But then they became Tricell, so it didn't really matter. So, this is one of those what-if scenarios, and I gotta say a couple of things about it. A lot of people say this, and I agree with it in many different ways. I actually researched it a little bit, but the people that made SOCOM actually made this game. When I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute, what? I thought the normal designers of Resident Evil would have made this game, but no, we found out that the makers of SOCOM actually made this game, and I was like, wait a second. So, wait, they made a shooter based in the Resident Evil series. That's where it lost points with a lot of viewers right there. A lot of people were like, whoa, no, we want the original people making this Resident Evil game. We don't want SOCOM people making this. And this caused a lot of controversy, which made IGN gave this game a 4 out of 10. I don't think it's that bad of a game. So, let me get back into the story. Like I said, it's a what-if story. Like, you do run into some of the characters like Leon, Ada, Claire, stuff like even Nikolai, if you played previous Resident Evils. And this is a what-if scenario. So, you get 6 characters to play as. Let me see. I think I can remember all 6 of their names. There's Lupo, Beltway, Bertha, Four Eyes, Vector, and Spectre. Yeah, there's 6 characters, and all 6 of them have their own special abilities. Like being from ranging, like being able to heal people a lot better, to becoming invisible. My character I played as when I played the game a lot was Spectre, who is able to find items and enemies, and I also have abilities that allow me to either A, use a sonar to allow me to see enemies through walls, B, have a thermal vision, or C, be able to tag enemies on the radar with a like a radar sonar, so my friends can also see them. Honestly, this plays almost like how Left 4 Dead and Dead Island was, but I've had a lot of fun playing this game with friends. When I played this game with friends, I had a fucking blast. This game is like the way to play it was with friends, but same thing with Dead Island. Even though it's fun to play with friends, that's where it loses its value as well. You need friends to play this game sometimes. Because let's get into it. If you die when you have friends online, your friends can revive you. If you die in single player, you have to start from the last checkpoint. So, I think this game basically says, get a friend or two and play with them. Alright, let's get into the atmosphere. Does this feel like a real Resident Evil game? In a way. Because in this game you could become infected. Yes, they made it like in Outbreak. You can become infected in this game, and your health bar is basically your infection meter when you get infected. So once your health hits 0, you lose control of your character, you become infected, and you start attacking your teammates. Which I kind of like. It creates like a desperation. Unless you have an antiviral spray, sometimes your teammates may be forced to kill you just so you won't become infected. Which I kind of find it pretty cool, but the fact that you can just revive people easily as well kind of diminishes the value. So this way, I'm infected, could be like, okay, let's kill you, boom, I'm dead, now you can revive me. it kind of makes it a little bit too easy. Now, the atmosphere of Resident Evil is okay. Like, the zombies aren't, like, you know, weak, like in Resident Evil 1 or 2. 5 shots, they go down, and finally 2 more, they're dead. You have to waste, like, whole clips on them sometimes. IGN complained that there wasn't enough ammo in the game. I disagree with that. I think there's an abundance of ammo in this game. On higher difficulties, there's not a lot of ammo because, of course, you need to use your ammo sparingly and make your shots count. If you just go like spray and pray in professional, you're going to waste ammo and you're going to be left with nothing. Even though they have a knifing system, which works. Basically, you can have, like, instead of having the knife equipped, you can actually, like, press a button and he'll slash with the knife. He or she, depending on who you're playing as. And you could do a brutal finisher or you could do a normal finisher. Some finishers cause different effects. Like, for me, as Spectre, the brutal finisher causes a flashbang to go off, which stuns any zombies and enemies nearby. While with another character like Bertha, the brutal finisher can sometimes cause green herbs to drop more effectively. So Bertha is good for a brutal finisher because she drops a lot of green herbs. Now here's the issue. There's not a lot of zombies in this game. Really not. Like, most of the zombies can be taken care of, but they do move faster, but most of them aren't that hard. They try to make it that it's a whole group of zombies in a city, but to be honest, for a city zombie apocalypse, it's kind of empty. Like, you would think, like, Left 4 Dead, where, like, in Left 4 Dead, you would see zombies left and right, and certain things you would do would alert the horde. You felt desperate in those times. Not to mention you had to worry about special zombies. In this, all you're really worrying about is regular zombies and Crimson Heads, which, if you played RE Remake, Crimson Heads are like these reddish zombies that, you know, if you don't take their heads off, they'll transform into these reddish zombies and be more powerful than normal. This is what I mean. It feels like the game's a little bit too easy. The only special zombies we have in this game are the Hunters, the Lickers, and the Tyrants. But you don't really run into Tyrants all that much. You only run into them, I think, in Chapter 2 and Chapter 5. Or is it Chapter 4? It doesn't matter. But anyways, that's the only times you run into them. You only run into them in Chapter 2 and Chapter 4, I think. And even though they're hard to take out, you can still kill them. And plus, in Chapter 2, you don't even have to fight them. You could just run. So it's not like you have a choice. So it's not like, you know, you can, like, stay and fight. With the Hunters, you could run away from them if you want. Like, here's the thing. If you're going to force us to fight, like, some of these special zombies, why are you going to give us the chance to run? That kind of defeats the purpose of a hard game. So, basically, I feel like the game is too easy. I played this game by myself and beat it in about 5 hours. I played with friends, we beat it in about 5.5 because we weren't really collaborating that well with each other, so 5.5 if you, maybe a little more if you suck, or 5 hours if you don't. Let's get into the music. Music's pretty good. I like the music a lot, but it just isn't that great. Like, it wasn't like, considering, let me compare it to another survival horror that was released, like Silent Hill Downpour. Silent Hill Downpour felt more atmospheric, that you felt alone and you felt you were a little wide open because the weapons you have break. In this game, the fact that you can find ammo pretty easily, trust me, you can if you're playing the Spectre, because he can find ammo cases and stuff like that, and other weapons from Spec Ops and stuff like that. It almost feels like you could make it through this whole game with no problem. Like, you don't even feel afraid. You just feel like, okay, what do I have to do next? Like that, that's how you feel. And to be honest, I don't like it. As everyone says, and I agree, this is SOCOM with zombies. It's supposed to be a survival horror, but it feels more like I'm playing a tactical shooter. That's the issue. The ending isn't that great either. It all depends on what you do. Like, of course, you can go for the paradox ending and kill Leon, or you can go for the regular end, or you can go for the normal ending and you let him live. A lot of my friends cannot hit that kill button no faster, and guess what? Leon is so fucking difficult to kill. Like, come on, I know he's supposed to be the final boss, but he shouldn't be that difficult to kill. He's worse than the Hunters. Not to spoil anything, but let me just say that the final boss just isn't that great. It's not fun, and honestly, I don't know. Honestly, the story of this game not really worth it. I say, like, it's not that great. But let's get into the multiplayer. They do have a multiplayer in this game, which I think embraces its SOCOM/zombie killer. So basically there are different game modes. I've only played 2 mainly, which is Survivor, but I have seen one game which is almost like Capture the Flag, where you have to take a sample of the G virus and take it to your base. Then there's Team Deathmatch, which is self-explanatory, kill the other team. Then you've got Heroes, where you play as 4 iconic characters on both the USS and Spec Ops. So on the USS you can play as Hunk, Nikolai, Ada, yada yada. Then on Spec Ops you can play as Leon, Claire, like different people like that. This is what I have to deal with every day. But anyways, I like the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer embraces its SOCOM/zombie killer, because they do add zombies and special zombies into the... See what I mean? But they do add zombies and special zombies into the mix, so it's not just you and players, it's you and zombies in there along with players. So it makes the game a lot, like the multiplayer, a little bit more fun to play and a little bit harder, so it's not as easy to get kills. Now, most of the game modes I find really unique. I think some of the game modes are really unique, and I find them pretty fun. Like Survivor, it doesn't matter who gets in the helicopter first. First come, first serve. So you can leave your whole team, and the other opposite team will be on that helicopter escaping. But there's a bonus if you can get your whole team out of there. And there's other modes like Heroes, like I said, Iconics, G-Virus, where you have to steal the G-Virus, Team Deathmatch, self-explanatory. All in all, what do I think about this game? It could have been better. Like, honestly, it could have really been better. Operation Raccoon City had a lot of potential. It had some hype behind it, and honestly, I think it fell flat on its face. It took a step forward, and then it took 3 steps back right into a freaking Crimson Head. That's what it did. Honestly, I like this game and all, but I think it's going to appeal to different... I think it's only going to appeal to the hardcore... Well, maybe the hardcore Resident Evil fans. Maybe. If you're a hardcore Resident Evil fan like I am, you're probably not going to pick this up because you feel like, oh, this ain't traditional. Well, Resident Evil 4 and 5 weren't traditional, but 4 was the better of the bunch. At least 4 felt atmospheric, and you felt completely alone and vulnerable because some of the enemies were pretty tough. Like some of the guys with chainsaws and stuff like that, and some of the bosses. This game just doesn't have those epic bosses where you feel vulnerable. You feel like you can make it through this whole thing by yourself on Professional, as a matter of fact. That's me being bold, but that's the honest opinion. So, short story, not really great. Everything you do in the story and multiplayer proceeds to both. So you can just buy weapons, which doesn't even matter. So, doing the whole story on Professional doesn't even matter either. You just get achievements. There's no, like, special weapon you can unlock, but it'd be like, okay, I beat the story mode in, like, 2 hours. You get the special RPG. I don't know about that. I don't know about any special weapons getting unlocked, but... Honestly, they could have done better with Silent Hill, Silent Hill, wow. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, they could have done a lot better. I feel like this was a flop in many ways. Unfortunately, I have to give this game a 5.5. So, it's a good game. It's just above average. I say if you're a hardcore Resident Evil fan and you don't mind this style of play, rent it and check it out. If you have friends, buy it, so this way you can play with your friends, because, like Dead Island, this game is probably the best game with friends. If you have friends that have this game, buy it. If you don't, just rent it, beat the story, play the multiplayer if you want, and be done with it, because there's no real point to buy it. I bought it myself because I have a lot of friends that play it, and I'm having fun with it still. It varies depending on the audience. But as I said, generalization, I think a 5.5 is fair. So, that is a wolf's word. 5.5 for Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.